It's your boy Cortez Mac. You tuned into a brand new episode of Cortez Mac TV. If you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button below so you can get all this content when it drops. I'm joined today by the homie Wallstreet Runna. How you doing?
All right, man. Feeling great, man. Hit the gym this morning.
Motivated. Look, this is a hustle right here. This is a man that grinds and works, and so I cannot wait for y'all to understand his work ethic and all the things that he has going on. This interview has been a long time coming. We've been planning this for months now, but we finally here. We getting it in, so let's jump into it. If y'all follow me on Instagram, you already saw that he said we really focusing on 3 things today, and those 3 things are what?
Financial literacy, self-awareness, separation equal elevation.
So that's the points of the lesson today. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, because financial literacy, especially within the Black community, is something that I think we neglect. You know, a lot of parents never sit their kids down to teach them about debt management or how to just evolve financially and be successful in this world and stay afloat. You know, we see a lot of parents that create a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, and their kids do the same thing. So why is that important for you?
It get worse and worse, man. You know, as time goes on, you know, we just fall into the same thing that we've been shown, you know, and with that, you know, it's up to us to make the difference. You know, it's up to us to change it or change the narrative of it. If I don't want my nieces, nephews, or my child or my children to grow into the same situations, and like you're saying, reach out to the community, you know, each one teach one, showing people that's where I'm from, that it's possible, you know, and it's just, you know, people lacking the care of your credit, you know, what the rich people do to stay rich, and how they keep us poor by, you know, knowing that we lack, you know, the ambition to go get the information, and knowing that we basically don't do what we need to do to access the resources that we need to access to find out what we need to find out.
So you brought up, you know, how I think what I gathered from that, I think environment does factor a lot into, you know, how people's mindset about finances and how much they value financial literacy. So your environment, tell us about your environment coming up and how that influenced where you are now in terms of putting this info out to the people.
Definitely. So for me, you know, my mama was a single mother of 4. We all grown now, you know what I'm saying? But she was a single mother of 4. So, you know, her trying to do what she did, you know, it caused her to, you know, live in different projects to maintain, you know, and she had help, you know, from my grandma and people like that to, you know, try, but at the same time, it's still on her, right? Her kids, and, you know, it kind of all fell on her, so kind of just watching her, you know, hustle through it, you know, in the best way she could, and knowing that, like, we only here because what the information we lack, and that's what I always told myself, like, it gotta be a way, you know, these people doing it, they living it. You know, I ride through the country clubs, or, you know, I get to a point where, you know, you seeing these cars, or, and you just like, well, somebody doing it. How they getting it? Yeah. They got to be doing something we not doing, and they got to know some things we don't know. It's up to us to figure out that information, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, our community, and not even to, you know, to be at the parents, because right, what I gotta tell people, in the 80s it was totally different. In the 70s, the 90s, even it was totally different. You know, and early 2000s, you know, a recession hit everything. So all these things that were different, you know, and they didn't even have the resources. They didn't have the internet like we had it, or let alone know how to use it like we can use it, or have easy access. You know, we were still in flip phones in the early 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Minutes free after 9. You know what I mean?
Boy, I remember them days.
So, you know, knowing that you can't even hold, you know, them 100% accountable, right? They could have did what they did.
For what they didn't know.
But what happens is, you know, a lot of people get caught up in survival. And we don't even have time to be trying to figure out other things, and let alone, like I said, until YouTube started growing and the information is out there for free, or Google, right? We didn't even get, you know, touchscreen phones for a while, you know, and by the time we did, you know, we teenagers, you know what I'm saying? On up. So it made it difficult back then. So I actually want to educate them as well, because I just feel like the resources weren't always there, you know what I'm saying?
And I mean, when somebody is in, I think, survival mode, it's kind of hard for them to pass on some stuff that they're not even thinking about.
Exactly. They were just trying to make sure you're alive and well, and that's why I respect her above everything, no matter how hard it was, no matter, you know, what was done in the process, because I'm alive and well, you know what I'm saying? You did what you could do, you know, the lights ain't go out. It's okay, the project, it was cheap, it was easily manageable for where you were, you know what I'm saying, for what you did, right? In her case, you know, she was a waitress, you know, things like that's what she grown to before, you know, whatever she was doing before that, to transition to this is what I want my kids to know, that, you know, you gotta grind, you gotta hustle like this, but at the same time, it's not enough to go to another level, let alone, you know, if you don't got the information, how you gonna get to the next level. So I feed her, I feed her whole, you know, her whole community of, you know, age group, the information that I'm learning, because I'm like, I don't really know who got the information and who don't, but I do know I want to bring it back to my people, because I just feel like even if I change one life, that's my motto, right? If I change one life,
you've already done that.
You know what I'm saying? If I can change one life, I'm good. And old or young, you know what I'm saying? I stretch, like it's not over. It's not over until you stop. You give up, it's done. You ain't even trying to learn. But if you can understand that.
Motivating y'all ass, do you hear this though?
You know what I'm saying? Even if you can understand that, even in my age, you know, as I go to 30s or 40s, that people under me, younger, my nieces and nephews, they might can teach me some things. I'll never be closed-minded to it. The world is evolving, change is mandatory, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to elevate, you know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to change. You got to be willing to change the way you think, the way you
lifelong learner.
You got to always be willing to learn, and that's my thing. I'm always willing to learn. It's like I reach a point where it's like it's hard, I can't figure it out. I'm about to figure it out. I don't care if it takes 6 months. I'm not gonna stop until I figure it out. Even if it's a new skill that can make me more money. Figure it out, you know what I'm saying?
We're always looking for those. Always looking for those. So we talked about you putting this stuff out to the community, and you have a YouTube channel where you have all of this information for the people. So what do you think is the most valuable? You ain't even gotta give them the specific tip here. What's the most valuable topic that you think you've covered for the people when it comes to financial literacy? Like when they go, what do they need to look for?
I love it, right? So this is perfect. So I always say,
I'm gonna set you up on Quintet.
you know what I'm saying? I always say, like, to get the money, that's easy for a lot of us, you know what I'm saying? You can get it with your hustle, your grind, your ambition, even if you just got to, because they said you're gonna get kicked out if you ain't got enough money. You gotta go to work, right? Even if you don't want to, even a lazy person just gotta do something, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, with the hustle, the grind, the ambition, or the pressure, you get the money. I think the mindset is what keeps the money. And that's what I wanna, and that's what I really wanna teach. That's where I keep money. Financially is what it is. It's about the mindset helping you keep the money, because that's what it's gonna come. I can teach you everything I know about money, but if you do not shape your mind to the mindset of how to keep it, then you're not gonna get what you need out of the information. You know what I'm saying?
What's the biggest obstacle for people keeping money now? I have an answer in my head already.
I think spending it, trying to keep up with, especially today's time, you know, social media, and you know, everybody in that. But I love talking about this because I talk about the process. A lot of people ain't okay with the process, right? I've been on this journey for, you know, 10 years. You know, I started 16, 17, and I'm an adult at that time working to get here. You know, I'm old cars or whatever I had to go through, working at McDonald's. You know, I wasn't never bigger than the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, you know, the process is what a lot of people just want to skip to get to where, you know, they're looking at, hey, can I borrow this, or hey, can I, you know, and it's like, you just want to skip the process and you still don't get it because you finna do something stupid with it. Ain't like you trying to elevate with it. You just trying to get what you can to go to the next day, and
that's temporary.
And that's very temporary.
Which is, I think, where we talk about the cycle, because people be trying to find temporary fixes, but if you look at long-term wellness, even if it's financial wellness, that's more valuable than the process. Man, I get what you're saying. It's all coming full circle to me.
Yes, sir.
You'll be a good teacher.
So same thing. That's why, hey, free YouTube, you know, and you can actually pay for the Keep Money service, and that's why I walk people to 750 scores, show them how to build a relationship with financial institutions, and make them invest in your business to do what you want to do, and repeat the cycle with the rich do to stay rich. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. So, you know, I just like to keep it real authentic, man, from where I'm from. It's a lot of people watching what I do, you know what I'm saying, from the streets to people with degrees, and it wasn't easy, it wasn't no time during that 10-year time frame that it was easy. Obstacles kept coming, but what I never did was let it keep me down, right? It's okay to get down, it's okay to cry, be sad, be depressed, it's okay for all that, but it's not okay to stay there. You know what I mean?
Hey, this is a motivational speaker right here. You're gonna hear see him at somebody's graduation talking, giving a commencement speech. Morehouse or some shit.
You're trying to go up, man.
So what's the biggest obstacle in your journey that you've had to overcome, that you feel comfortable sharing with me
Definitely.
and my folks?
I think the biggest obstacle was that, when you create an image for yourself, you know what I'm saying, and that's what people, that's what they see, that's what they know. What you see is what you get in that sense. And I believe that trying to change that, a lot of people think that when you change it, when you do the right things, that everything is just gonna be smooth from that point. And what you realize is you done went from a devil to an angel, but they still gonna give you devil problems. You feel what I'm saying? Because some people, they just don't like to see it. Some people can't stand it's you. Some people gonna stick you to that stereotype because that's where they want to keep you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Exactly. And it's up to us to make that change or make them think different. Like I give you a good example, like my uncle, right? I love him to death. He loved me to death. The thing is, when I was doing what I was doing, he automatically, figured that. I end up in jail. I end up, dead doing what I was doing, and honestly, he was right? So, he kind of just stepped away from it. But when it was time to change my life, and I made that decision, he also was there to take me to the bus stop. He also was there to put $80 in my pocket because he knew if anything, he's about to try to change his situation. And for that, I respect him for life. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to
Shout out to Unc, man. You know what I'm saying? I respect him for life for that because, it was a small thing, but it made a big difference because I did need a ride and I did need a little money in my pocket going in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm young.
The shift. I like that.
Exactly. So I think that's the biggest thing, and people actually holding themselves accountable to make that change and understanding that you created that image first, so it's up to you to make it new, and it's gonna be 10 times harder.
So I got a current event that I want to tie to this, and y'all got to tune in because next week I'm actually talking about this on IG Live. We covering everything that's going on with YSL. I'm a big Thug fan, I'm a big Gunna fan, but a lot of people feel like they set themselves up for the circumstances that they're facing now by not embracing change or not shifting to the lifestyle that some people say they were blessed to go ahead and kind of enjoy. What are your thoughts on that? How hard is it to let go of a lifestyle that is a big part of you? Even when you got this platform, this money, this music, these opportunities, do you look at them? Do you look at them as having made a mistake?
It's hard to say, right? Because we don't know all the detail, but I will tell you, me and my bro, we were just talking about, shout out to Ray, I wouldn't even be here with this man if it weren't for him, man. But
shout out, Ray.
You did what's happening. So I believe that what we talked about is that at some point you just gotta realize that you're bigger than a lot of people, or a lot of people think you're bigger than what you are, and as you get that big and as you get bigger, people still they want you to stay on their level, and it's internally you got to understand that you're not there no more. R.I.P. Milk, that's kind of his situation.
Exactly.
He was great at what he did. He was a big influencer, but the fact that he couldn't create that separation and understand that I can run all these operations or have people running from a distance to keep myself safe, he paid the cost for it, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's the same thing with them. And of course, you get so many people around you, and they wanna create this entitlement type of situation to where they feel like you should kind of stay who you are, but you just got more money now. And I tell you about me, I love the guys that still rock with me today, but when I did make that separation, I ain't care who I lost. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can go. If you ain't with me, you ain't with me. You're gonna realize that a lot of people you love, some of them don't love you like you love them. You know what I'm saying?
Or they love a certain version of you.
Or they love a certain version of you. Yeah. They not willing to be okay with the version who coming up out of it, who made up out of it. Like I said, it's simply sometimes because it ain't them. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, and I think in their case, I think Atlanta's just so big that they get a little bit of that, right? Because I look at it all the time, even in Lucha's situation, right? They have 100, dudes at they mansion. I don't care, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a couple individuals I rock with, it's a lot that I ran with, but I'm not gonna have them, they homies and they homies in my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they don't love me like the main person that I'm letting in my crib love me, so I can't expect them to, you know what I'm saying? And I think that just put people in their situation, a lot of situations. That separates the one who become Jay-Z, who's in the street just as much, but he's on another level because he didn't care who he lost, you know what I'm saying? He just went with it. And it is what it is, right? If you see millions and billions for yourself, you gotta go get them, man. And whoever love you, they still gonna be there, whether you talk to them in 2 days,
they worth it, they
10
worth
years.
it,
You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna matter. They gonna love you regardless. And that's, I feel like, is the real love. That's the ones that is gonna be there, and it's okay to be there. And I can give sometimes free information to them, you know what I'm saying? I can't give you money in your pocket, right? That don't do you no good, but I can give you this information because this information changed my life. Exactly. I learned as I went, even if it was just self-discipline, self-awareness, like it changed my life. So you got to start there before any kind of money situation can, you know what I mean, really just change you, because then you're gonna end up, you know, in that situation where a lot of money is still where you was trying to get away from the whole time.
So you bring up our next topic. We talking about self-awareness now. Now I want to ask you, in terms of you, what's the most recent thing that you learned about yourself? Most recent thing you learned about yourself, good or bad?
I tell you, I think good or bad is not the word for it, but I will say it's patience, you know.
Okay.
And I think that goes to simple, like, you know, people being on the road and
yeah,
you before you know it, you getting into that mode and you don't even realize it, but it's so in your identity. It's still wired there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the type of stuff that we got to be able to rearrange ourselves. We got to understand, like, okay, I don't want to be like, I don't want to, you know, get the road rage real quick, or I don't want to have to get a temper so fast, and, you know, that's what's been in my identity. The only way to do it, I feel like, is to think twice. Every time I'm about to do it, think about it. You know what I'm saying? Pause, think again, and be like, you about to do it again. You know what I'm saying? And from there, I feel like you can slowly, one day at a time, one step at a time, you can do it, and you still gonna find yourself doing it before you know it. You're like, I'm doing it again. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
that's the self-awareness.
That self-awareness. You're talking to yourself. It's a voice in your head. You got to listen to it, and you got to care. You know, I think that's another thing I want to talk about. Like, some people say, you know, I don't care about what people think of me, or some people care about what people think of them too much, and I feel like they got to find that balance, because you need to care about what people think about you, to the point that you don't want to be looked at as a, you know, a bad person, or people standing over your grave and you like, hey, you know, this person was this way or that way, as to, you know, at the same time, you don't want to care so much about what people think that you
lose yourself.
That you lose yourself, and you're on social media, but your real life, you ain't got nothing. But it look good when you're on a trip that you ain't paid for. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta go back home to the dirty house, the dirty room, whatever you got going on for real, and then you just can't wait on your next opportunity to fake it again. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean for self-awareness.
I think that balance is real, definitely. So now, the most interesting thing that you said was separation leading to an equaling elevation. So how much separating have you had to do to get to where you are right now? And I know you're not even where you want to be yet, but you're on your way. So
like you said, we're talking a 10-year journey. So we talking best friends. We talking, you know, some type of family. Some, you know, family actually came back, as we know that, you know, they just didn't like that version, but they loved this version because they knew that's what I was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? That they didn't give up. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just sat back and watched you transition to whatever you was gonna transition into. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I say a lot, man, you know, and as you go, you realize, like I tell people, like, some people got favorites, you know what I'm saying? They rather be, even if it ain't them, they rather be them than you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, you gotta separate yourself from that. And even with people that you know, you try to help in the process, like I could be helping you, but you could leave here and the homeboy be in your ear like, man, bro, I don't know what he's talking about. He da-da-da-da-da, and that don't do you no good. If it's authentic when you hear it, it's authentic when you leave. You dig what I'm saying? So I think that they just let too many people, you know what I'm saying, in their ear, and, you know, people put themselves in a position for other people to hold them back. And I just told myself, like, once again, I don't care who I lose. If you're not with what I'm going with, it's no hard feelings. I wish no harm to you. I love you the same, but I'm on a different mission. If we're on the same frequency, you can rock beside me. But if not, then I gotta understand that I can't bring you with me 100% because you gonna bring them in. Like I said, I don't know what they'll do.
Is it ever a struggle though to make that decision to cut those people off, or are you more of it's business when it comes to it?
It's always a struggle, man. Because what you want to do, again, me and bro was talking about it the day we was in the gym, right? And we like it's a benefit of the doubt thing. We like to give the people that we already knew benefit of the doubt of you don't know no better. But I tell you this, I'm on a different level of self-awareness, right? Where I'm like, you know what? Grown people know what they do. They know exactly what they're doing.
That's a word right there.
When they do it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm only hurt myself every time I try to, pick up the phone knowing I should be done, you know what I'm saying? Or I try to bring you back into what I'm doing knowing you ain't on that level. Like, you got to make that change. Like when I was by myself, I had to separate and elevate. When I made that change, I can get around like-minded people and we can operate on the same frequency. Until you get there personally, I'm hurting myself. So at this point in my life, I really just made a decision that grown people know what they're doing, and we ain't even asking no questions. It is what it is,
Hey, that's the title of this video. Grown people know what they're doing.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, that's real. So we just scratching the surface, y'all, but we almost out of time for today, Runna. But he is coming back next week, Wallstreet Runna. We got to get into. This man is a whole artist. Music out, it's amazing. But before we wrap up, I do want you to tell the people where they can go to get the financial literacy today so that they can get started getting to know you and all of your content. And next week when they come back, they can get the music side.
Yes, sir, for sure. So I popped off the channel. The channel was already there for my music, but I popped off the series, the Keep Money Conversation series, you know what I'm saying? It's going crazy right now. It's basically free game, right? Everybody can't pay to just get started. So I'm giving you basic credit information, basic, business information, basic Forex information, everything you need as far as financial literacy to kind of just start to elevate your mind, start to put gas in the tank to get you going.